The Zephyrian armada hung in space like a constellation of death, their crystalline ships refracting starlight into prismatic warnings. Admiral Kethvar watched the blue-green world below through the viewport of his flagship, his three eyes narrowing with satisfaction. This would be another easy conquest for the galactic hegemony. "Deploy the standard surrender demand," he commanded, his translator converting his chittering into universal standard. The message burst across all frequencies toward Earth. "Primitive species of Sol 3, you have been selected for integration into the galactic hegemony. Surrender your governments, disarm your military forces, and prepare for cultural assimilation. You have one solar rotation to comply. Resistance is futile." Kethvar settled back into his command throne. In his 3 centuries of conquest, no species had ever refused after witnessing the might of a full armada. The humans would capitulate within hours, as they always did. Hours passed. Then a full day. No response came from Earth. "Perhaps their primitive communications are malfunctioning," suggested Sub-Commander Vexhai. "Should we send the message again?" "Impossible," Kethvar replied, though uncertainty crept into his voice. "Our scans detect advanced electromagnetic signatures across their planet. They received our transmission. On Earth, President Chen sat in the emergency bunker deep beneath Geneva, surrounded by the leaders of every nation." The alien message played on repeat across the room's displays. "Silence," she said simply. "We give them silence." Defense Minister Petrov leaned forward. "Madam President, our combined fleets are already moving into position. Project Prometheus is online." "Good. Let them wonder why we don't answer. Let them think us too primitive to understand or too terrified to respond." Her eyes hardened. "They'll learn the truth soon enough." Above the Pacific, the first wave of human ships emerged from behind the moon, not the sleek, graceful vessels the aliens expected, but brutal, angular constructs of steel and carbon fiber. They moved with purpose, not beauty. Admiral Sarah Torres commanded the lead dreadnought, Indomitable. Her ship was a patchwork of human ingenuity. Plasma cannons reverse-engineered from ancient crash sites, kinetic railguns that fired tungsten rods at relativistic speeds, and nuclear pulse drives that could accelerate the massive vessel faster than physics should allow. "All ships, this is Torres. Remember, we don't negotiate with conquerors." The Zephyrian sensors detected the human fleet's approach. Kethvar's mandibles clicked in amusement. 15 ships against 300? Have they lost their collective mind? "Admiral," his sensor operator reported, "their vessels. They're accelerating beyond our projected capabilities. And there's something else. Massive energy buildups across their planet's surface. On Earth, the mountain ranges of Tibet, the Andes, and the Rockies split open like metallic flowers. Colossal weapons platforms emerged from their hidden silos, railgun arrays the size of city blocks, particle beam networks that could crack moons, and something else entirely. Director Yamato watched from Project Prometheus Control as the crown jewel of human engineering came online. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced over the global command network, "the Prometheus array is fully operational." The array was humanity's greatest secret, a network of quantum entanglement devices that could channel the entire output of Earth's star. For 50 years they had prepared for this moment, learning from every crashed probe, every intercepted transmission, every clue that humanity was not alone. The alien fleet moved to intercept the human ships, confident in their overwhelming numbers. Crystalline fighters swarmed forward like angry wasps. Torres smiled coldly. "All ships, implement the Berserker Protocol." The human vessels suddenly split apart like deadly flowers blooming. Each ship was not one craft, but dozens, modular sections that operated independently, turning 15 vessels into nearly 200 smaller, faster units. The alien fighters found themselves surrounded, overwhelmed by humanity's chaotic, unpredictable tactics. But the real surprise was yet to come. "Prometheus array charging complete," Yamato announced. "Target enemy flagship." High above Earth's atmosphere, space itself seemed to tear open. A beam of pure solar fury lanced upward, focused through quantum lenses into a lance of annihilation. It struck Kethvar's flagship dead center. The mighty vessel, shielded by the best technology the hegemony could provide, lasted exactly 2.3 seconds before its crystalline hull sublimated into component atoms. Kethvar's last thought was one of impossible confusion. How could primitives, beings who hadn't even achieved faster than light travel, wield the power of a star? The remaining alien fleet began to retreat, but Earth's surface-based weapons were already tracking them. Railgun volleys bracketed fleeing ships while particle beams reached out with deadly precision. Of the 300 vessels that had arrived with such confidence, fewer than 50 escaped Earth's gravity well. Across the galaxy, the surviving Zephyrians brought word to the Hegemony Council. The species they had dismissed as primitive had not only refused surrender, they had answered with devastating silence and overwhelming fire. In the emergency session that followed, Councillor Zethmar raised a trembling appendage. Perhaps we should reconsider our expansion toward Sol 3. The Council voted unanimously to quarantine the Sol system. The humans, they decided, could keep their little corner of space. Some species, they learned too late, were not meant to be conquered. On Earth, President Chen stood before the United Nations Assembly. Today we proved that humanity will never kneel. Today we showed the galaxy that our silence is not weakness. It is the calm before the storm. The applause was thunderous, echoing across a world that had faced annihilation and emerged victorious. Earth had answered the call of the void, and the void had blinked first. In the depths of space, new human ships were already under construction. Ships designed not for defense but for exploration. Humanity had learned it was not alone in the universe. Now it was time to introduce themselves to the neighbors properly.